The Paladin class in Dungeons & Dragons has long been a divisive character choice for players, undergoing significant changes over the years to address some of its earlier weaknesses. Despite being popular in modern editions for its versatility and strength, the class's rigid moral code in earlier versions made it frustrating for many players. The Paladins' rise in popularity. In the 5th edition of D&D, Paladins have become a fan favorite due to their unique combination of melee combat and magic. As halfcasters, they possess a robust selection of spells that enhance their combat prowess without overwhelming players with complex casting mechanics. This blend makes them appealing not only for experienced players but also for beginners. The class shines with abilities like Divine Smite, allowing paladins to expend spell slots to deal additional radiant damage in combat. This mechanic, combined with their proficiency in heavy armor and weapons, positions them as frontline fighters capable of significant damage output. Furthermore, paladins' abilities scale well with level progression, especially when coupled with the passive damage increase from improved Divine Smite. Their versatility is also enhanced by excellent multiclassing options. Paladins, being charisma-based, synergize well with classes like warlocks, sorcerers, or bards. This allows for deeper spell variety or damage-boosting combinations, making the paladin a solid choice for creative builds. Why 5th edition paladins are beginner-friendly? One of the biggest reasons paladins are highly regarded in 5th edition is their accessibility. They start as relatively simple characters to manage at low levels, focusing primarily on combat and a few easy-to-understand abilities like Lay on Hands, a healing touch, and Divine Sense, a magical enemy detector. As they level up, more complex features like spells and Divine Smite come into play, allowing players to gradually increase the complexity of their gameplay. This progression makes paladins an ideal class for new players, who can slowly get accustomed to the game's mechanics. Their inherent durability and offensive strength make them excellent frontline fighters, and their support abilities offer opportunities to learn about tactics like resource management and spell conservation. 3rd edition paladins, a more restrictive class. In contrast, paladins in the 3rd edition faced many limitations that made them far less enjoyable to play for many. Smite Evil, the predecessor to Divine Smite, was significantly weaker, usable only once per day and exclusively against evil-aligned enemies. This restriction could render the ability useless against non-evil foes, creating frustration in campaigns that didn't revolve around clear-cut good versus evil narratives. The most divisive aspect of 3rd edition paladins was their strict moral code. These paladins had to adhere to a lawful good alignment, meaning they could only engage in moral or ethical actions approved by their oath. This often led to tension within player groups, especially when more morally ambiguous characters were involved. Paladins couldn't tolerate allies who strayed from their rigid sense of justice, which not only stifled party dynamics but also limited storytelling opportunities. Moreover, a paladin in the 3rd edition who violated their oath lost all class abilities until they atoned, a penalty that could halt character progression entirely. Unlike the more flexible Oathbreaker subclass introduced in 5th edition, which allows paladins to continue being powerful characters even after breaking their oath, the older versions made such moral failings a game-stopping consequence. The paladin's evolution in D&D. The changes made to the paladin in 5th edition helped resolve many of the issues players faced in earlier iterations. The class has evolved from a rigid archetype of lawful good into something more flexible, offering various oaths and moral nuances, which fit better with the diverse storytelling styles in modern D&D. This newfound flexibility makes the paladin an excellent choice for players who want to embody a righteous warrior while still engaging with complex moral dilemmas. In conclusion, while paladins were once seen as a restrictive and frustrating class, especially in the 3rd edition, modern revisions have made them one of the most fun and versatile choices in Dungeons & Dragons. Their blend of martial prowess, spellcasting, and strong character progression makes them a rewarding experience for players of all levels.